All right, we're here with part two. Jimmy Brown, Eric Clayton, vaporizing. So we just got into some pretty great stuff. Little impromptu talk between two brothers, and we're just wanting to sit here and just chat with one another. But one of the things that I'm so excited that has brought Mr. Clayton back into music was the death of what I consider to be the mentor I never knew, and just discovering his music at such an early age, like I did. And I've told the story before on my video log, so I don't need to go through it again. But how I discovered Bowie so young, and Eric, I know Bowie had a huge impact on your life, and that actually, when he passed away in such a tragic and beautiful tragic way, especially his parting gift with us.
His swan song, yeah.
Yeah. Parting gift to us. Such an unbelievable record, Black Star. It sparked something in you, and it cultivated your return. And I'd like to hear a little about that. And or unless you want to talk about or you want to geek out on Bowie for a little bit, but tell me a little about how that affected you and what caused you and Jeff to want to do this.
You know what? In a nutshell, when I was over doing the Theater Equation performances in the Netherlands, September 2015. I met some people and fellow artists and singers and performers, and just kind of it really sparked my creative juices and my kind of I would say it was the very first little drop in the bucket as far as kind of waking up some very dormant things inside of me. Some things that I thought were kind of gone, And in a nutshell, that experience ended up being, I'd say it ended up being the catalyst in me realizing that I didn't hate music, and it wasn't dangerous for me, and that there was a place that I needed to have a revisit,
Yeah.
just kind of,
it's like almost going home.
Recheck in, and I tell you that that experience. I met Devin Graves. He and I kind of hit like you and I did when we first met. He's a hilarious individual, and he's a California boy, originally living in Austria now, and just connected movies, music, culture, all kinds of stuff. Just our age. So we connected. We talked about somehow just music. Got on Bowie. I told him I thought he did a phenomenal John Lennon. He's got this ability to do a Lennon-esque vocal at times, and
nice.
Thought he did a phenomenal one. Yeah, we were just kind of talking at the time. It's 2015. I thought, if we got on this now, it was like September. We could possibly do a cover of Fame, where I do the Bowie stuff and he does the Lennon
thing. Yeah.
And we thought, hey, it'd be a cool thing to do. Release at the end of the year 2015. It would have been 75. Fame was released, so it would have been 40-year anniversary.
Sure.
Yeah, it made sense too. And then,
the news came.
Bowie died.
Yeah.
So changed the plan a little bit. Kind of sat on it for a few months, and just really kind of dug into what felt right, and what kept feeling right was, this needs to be something more than just a song, And it wasn't, I don't know, it wasn't even like didn't even strike me as an idea that it was about a music business idea or a marketing idea or any of that sort of crap. And that's kind of why I had to sit on it for a while, honestly, because I had the desire to do it, and let's say the passion to delve into choosing the songs, at least the first step, choosing the 12 songs. After I decided, okay, I want to do a record called Decade that covers this period, just because it was so influential on
Oh God, yeah.
so many people, so many legions of artists, And so that was it. And I needed to take 6 months to do that, and then OCD and all that stuff, and just making sure, going through and trying to pick one song from each of those records.
Terribly difficult.
Man,
I did one. I did my tribute. Obviously, I sent it to you and gave it to our fans on Dropbox, and but that I couldn't even think of ambitiously trying to choose 10 of the best or 12 of the best because there's so much more.
It was so hard just to choose one song.
Oh, I know.
Record, But you know what? After that was done, I felt like, okay, that's maybe one of the hardest parts. And then it was Jeff. Honestly, it was me just kind of throwing myself. I had no idea if Jeff would go for it or not, if he'd be even interested. But we were riding back from a Dodger game. Yeah, riding back from a Dodger game. I was just in LA for a visit. And on the way back from the game, I said, man, I got to tell you, it's about something I've been kind of stewing on and brewing on and, obsessing about for the last 9 months and scared shitless about. But
yeah,
I gotta tell somebody about it.
Sure.
Yeah, I threw it out, and he was like, "Fuck yeah, I'll do it." And
that's so
beautiful.
That's
beautiful.
That's beautiful. And that how long had it been since you and Jeff? How long had it been?
We had just reconnected for working together in 2008. We did a little medley together. It was for the Journal thing, or 2009. Saviour Machine played those acoustic dates in 2011 and 12. And right before, it's going to get heavy again. It's just no way to not avoid that.
Sure.
Right before Cindy and I separated, Saviour Machine was, we were tooling around with, we were writing together for the first time in forever. Like we hadn't written together since like 96, 97.
That's a long time. Yeah, that's a long time.
20 years, man.
Yeah.
And so we were writing together, and with no agenda, no song titles, no concept, no nothing. We're just writing. We're taking little tidbits, grooves, and melodies, and riffs, and little vocal lines and stuff like that, and just tooling around, having really interesting rehearsals and stuff like that. So that stuff was really kind of taken off, and there was some, we were even toying around with the idea of, writing and producing another Saviour Machine record that was not a Legend record. So I'd say kind of full circle on what this Bowie thing did is within a short period, within a couple of years. I mean, we're talking less than 2 years. This passion for Bowie, the man that kind of launched and inspired the careers of so many other artists, including you and me both.
Oh yeah.
And all these years later, after getting stumbling along the way, losing my sense of who I was as an artist or a musician, his death just kind of being the catalyst and bringing me back to at least searching for it.
At least doing music.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I found it yet, but I'm enjoying the process along the way.
So, are you actually saying that there might be a little bit of a chance of this? This is an S. This is an M in sign language. Saviour Machine.
Yeah, there's anything's possible, man. There's a lot of promoters reaching out overseas right now, just inquiring about what it would take to put something together, like a tour or maybe just a series of dates or something like that. So
now, are you sure they're not reaching out to you about the mechanics? Saviour Mechanics.
I need my phone for this.
Yeah, that's I'm telling you, man. There's
a whole subculture.
A whole subculture of that people don't know that Saviour Machine had an alter ego band. They were just absolutely fantastic. Even more dramatic, I would say.
In different ways.
Yeah, coming out in overalls, the kind mechanics wear, and the Saviour Mechanics.
It's a different kind of concept.
It's a different concept. So I started working on his marketing scheme.
Jimmy is our new marketing director.
Yeah.
For the new project.
Yeah.
I don't know how this is going to translate.
You can bring it in close.
Not catch on fire.
Right there. Oh yeah, there it is. The Return of Baldo, Saviour Mechanics.
This we were spending a lot of hours together. Right
Yeah,
now.
Absolutely.
But the thing about this is, anyway, let's discuss the Photoshop work here, man. Okay, he breaks the cardinal rule right away. 3 different fonts. You know? But here's the best part. You know, what this ad says is, don't take me seriously at all. Look at this last. Savior Mechanics. It's one of those fonts that just says we're fun, right? Yeah, we're working on kind of mixing things up. There's a whole new direction.
Yeah, a whole new direction for the mechanics. It's not Savior Machine. It's Savior Mechanic. We got to let them in a little backstory. And we during our tour, you know, this was the Machine's first tour ever, and I believe at that point it was our 6th or 7th U.S. tour, and yeah, we had to break them in, just like people broke us in on our first and second tours. And
It's like rookies.
We tortured
Rookie hazing.
just tortured Savior Machine. You know, we just they're all finally dead asleep, and then we just go and knock on their doors as loud as possible, keep calling their rooms, and you know, and oddly enough, there was one time we were making so much racket, and the hotel started calling their room, complaining that they were making all this noise, and all the noise was coming out of my room. You know, we were just making all sorts of things, but we called them. As anybody that knows hanging out with me, you're going to get a nickname very quick. So if I love you, if I like you, you know, and if we get along, you're going to get a nickname very quick. And so Savior Machine was, let's see, we said, first started with Savior Latrine. So remember that one.
Yep.
And then Savior Mechanics, which that was my favorite.
Baldo and the Mechanics.
And then Baldo and the Mechanics. So, because instead of Bono, it was Baldo.
That was really where it started. It was a Bono thing.
Yeah.
I had, when we first met, I actually had hair.
Yeah.
You know, I had long dyed black hair. See, don't dye your hair, people. But yeah, and so I was Joshua Tree, Bono length, I suppose you could say.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And plus, I did this really silly Bono impersonation where all you have to do is kind of stand just like this. You can just drop a shoulder and put an arm out, and you can just make a gesture, and you look like Bono on stage.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did that, and he goes, Bono.
Yeah, you think
you're Baldo.
Yeah, you think you're Bono. You're going to be Baldo.
Right. And
I kept trying to convince Jeff, his brother, since he played guitar, to
give me this.
Get it, cut all his hair off, and then just leave it straight, spiked up, and then dye it green, and then he would be the hedge instead of the edge. So it was Baldo and the hedge.
we would have sold way more records. I'm sure if we would have gone that route.
No, I'm glad you showed that. That's hilarious. But no, I'm so excited because, you know, first off, you know, I remember just, you know, waiting with anticipation. It's like, let's see what's going to come on. Let's see what we're listening to. And the first thing, it was just, I will say it was a welcome home because I was hearing your voice on tape. Well, God, it shows how old we are. But I'm hearing your voice on a recording for the first time in a long, long time. I'd been watching the videos of your performance, of course, with Equation and enjoying. But, you know, it's like whenever you cut out and everybody else cut in, I was like, you know, I want just Eric to sing. So, but getting to hear you, and then now you're doing Our Heroes music. And, you know, because, I mean, God, you have no idea how many countless hours you want to see two very serious guys geek out like little girls.
We can do that.
Yeah, it's when we talk about David Bowie. But it was just so exciting to hear, and then especially knowing you and Jeff were doing it together. That's just something special because there is something very, very special
about working with Jeff.
Well, you guys have a chemistry. It's the blood blend, whatever you want to call it. It's just special.
It's my musical life.
It's real.
It is my musical life.
Yeah.
It really is.
And it's real, man. So there's you guys, Captain and Tennille, the Carpenters, Jeff and Eric.
Rogers and Hammerstein.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of duos, we're going to go ahead and use this to, just kind of announce some early stage. We got nothing, really ironed out all that much yet, but
that's easy to iron stuff out.
It is.
You just get a big steel plate that's been heated and
some steam.
Yeah, steam. There you go.
We're in the process. This studio, we're going to show you more of this place, but we're in the process of not just setting up one of the coolest studios in the South,
Dude, in the South,
but
Alabama.
right. But no, one of the an epicenter for something,
Something very special.
something groundbreaking. People like we're talking about forming a production team,
Absolutely.
not just music, film, social media, you name it. There's a lot of possibilities.
And you out there could be our first clients. So please contact Eric Clayton or myself. Why do you keep blowing that candle out with me? Man, you're a real breathy guy, aren't you?
Of course. Well, every time
I'm looking, I'm pouring wax everywhere now.
when you make me laugh, I go.
Don't blow that out. There we go. Oh, and look at you blew that one out now too. All right. Don't be careful because I'm going to end up pouring wax all over you.
Sounds like a party.
Oh. So, but if you are interested in working with myself behind the console and the man behind the ears, this is the team.
This guy has like technical magic going on up here. And then on top of it, he's a brilliant musician. And then you take those two things and combine it with some of my weird little Rain Man things that I have going on. Yeah,
there's the possibility of some great magic, and we love working with other artists.
This team, we're going to do some damage.
Yeah, for sure.
And we have such.
We're not limited.
No, we have diverse.
Any type of music.
Eclectic tastes and open to lots of experimentation. So we'll see where this goes. But I don't know. I'd say look over the next 6, 8, 10 months for.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you got Eraserhead as a somewhat of the beginnings of it.
It is.
But it's just going to go any further. So, and we're meaning it. If you want the collective, this team, to work with you on a project, please let us know.
The thing is there's one prereq. You have to have a pretty damn good sense of humor.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Yeah, because we can seem quite offensive, especially me right away. If you don't know me.
But if
Eric's there to create damage control, I think.
you want to make a record and have a damn good time doing it, then this is your place.
No question. We're having a blast. Having a blast. I'm bummed that you're leaving tomorrow night. But, it's okay. We'll see each other again very, very soon.
California in a couple weeks.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
And
somewhere.
Somewhere.
Actually, even if you went out there, that'd be kind of cool for a visit.
I make the drive. It's like 5 hours.
Yeah.
And then
5 hours isn't bad.
And if not, you said you might come back through.
Well, no, I'm going to come through Utah anyway because I want to see it. It's pretty.
Going to come through Utah.
Utah. Oh, was anyone supposed to know that you were living in Utah? Or is it already out?
It kind of got out.
Oh, it's already out. Okay. Well, he lives in Utah.
I'm living in Utah.
I mean, you don't know where, but he lives there. So, it is beautiful. Trust me. I love it. I've been digging. I'll say this. I'm sharing this just as a friend. Knowing Eric, one of the things that I adored about what you did, intentional or not, is that you were just very mysterious. Nobody really knew who Eric Clayton was. Nobody talked. You were just this enigmatic figure on stage, and obviously these very brooding lyrics, and a true testimony to the apocalypse, and all these different things that were going on with the machine. But you just became this kind of larger than life figure that was near unapproachable. And then you didn't do a lot of interviews. You didn't grant interviews, and now watching these.
I stop at the interviews, Matt. It just be the same questions over and over.
Well, that happens. I mean, what are you going to do?
How
Yeah, what are you going to do? In fact, are you going to ask me what kind of strings I use?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, the fact that you do videos of you just driving around. My favorite was the one in the car wash. I mean, it was like, what in the world? It's just great. Eric.
ADD has its perks.
Oh, man, he is lightened up in such lovely and wonderful ways because, see, that's the Eric I know. See, the Eric that I hung out with early on. See, everybody knew this mysterious, scary figure, and the white makeup and the jewel on the head and everything else, everybody was so scared of you in a lot of ways, and they were like, "Well, what's it like to hang out with you guys? Like sacrifice cats together?" And it was that kind of stuff, and it was so funny because people just really didn't know what it was like, and I appreciated that. I really did. I appreciated that, but I loved who Eric was. And oh my gosh, we would laugh so hard, our stomachs would hurt, we'd be crying. Um, he loves my bent for imitations.
I have come to coming up on 50, which I'll be in December. I've come to a very, very clear revelation in my life that
You have a beard?
yes, that probably needs some sort of care at this point, but or at least away from an open flame. No, you know what? This man fits right into that special little category in my life, which is all the people I like to keep close, whether I don't see them for a few years or not. When I say close, I mean close.
Yeah, it's a
And,
different kind. Yeah.
and you know what? I realize that all the people that I keep closest in my life, the people I need to stay in contact with, are the people that keep becoming a cyclical part of my
Oh,
life,
of
just keep
course.
coming back,
Absolutely.
are people that are fucking hilarious.
Well, we definitely. Oh my God, we've laughed so hard during this time. I mean, it's hard because when you're wanting to sing these serious lyrics that I've written and put down, and Eric's drawing emotions, then all of a sudden we just start laughing about crazy shit together with just
You're talking about the brooding personnel, the mysterious persona, and
Yeah.
all that stuff. I mean, you need some sort of outlet that's not that.
Oh, I agree.
And you remember me. I mean, the only time I was really serious was right before a show, and then during a show, and then afterwards, it was a big game. I mean, it was coming down after that.
Oh yeah.
Immediately, it's I could turn it off pretty quickly after a show.
Well, I never met a man who loved movies. I mean, more in my life, and could remember so much.
My brother and me, yeah. And you.
I remember a lot of dialogue. But I don't think there's a movie out there that you haven't seen. I mean, it's just you're that much of a fan of just good movies.
Yeah, there's plenty of shitty movies.
Oh no, I'm talking about like good movies.
Yeah.
I mean, why would you waste your time on something stupid?
Plus, there's so many. I mean, now it's getting harder, and I think that's why.
Yeah, it's harder to sift. It really is now.
I think that's why Netflix and television, basically, or internet television. I think that's why it's taking over, because you're seeing less and less quality films and more quality stuff coming out through.
Yeah, through those mediums. Yeah, exactly.
Television's kicking film industry's ass right now, for sure.
Yeah.
Except for comic book movies. Comic book movies are the only surefire bet to make money anymore.
Absolutely.
And you see what the film industry does.
And anything, Lucas.
Yeah. But it's now in better hands.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, George, but we all know what happened. You know what? The last two Star Wars movies have been very good.
Oh, they're wonderful. Yeah.
But you know what? I mean, my biggest problem with the film industry now is nobody's making movies, nobody's making films, nobody's telling new stories. All they're doing is telling the same fucking story
over and over and over and over.
And they try to repackage and make it all fancy this, and it's, I don't know. To me, it blows me away that people just keep falling for It's like, you've seen that movie before, and you think it's different, but it's not. How do you not see that it's not? That drives me a little nuts, but I think it's just part of people's programming. Nobody really pays attention.
Where's the torture of making an apocalypse now?
I know.
It hasn't happened. Everybody relies on CGI and all this other crap. Dude, watching Hearts of Darkness, which was your recommendation, and seeing what they went through, and the hilarious part of that one part where they're filming the helicopter scene, and all of a sudden the helicopters just start taking off and go another direction, because they were ordered to.
I know. Somebody called in
by the Vietnam government.
Noriega needs the choppers.
Yeah, it's like, and they're just, and Coppola's just going, what's going on? Where are my choppers going?
And then he has a meltdown. And
oh my God!
What's beautiful is the way Eleanor, his wife,
yes,
she films everything.
Brilliant.
And it's so. I believe that Hearts of Darkness is so far ahead of its time, because if you think about it, it's the first kind of reality.
Oh yeah,
it is. It's like, let's go on the other side of this and show you what's happening as the film's being made.
But it shows Eleanor's a genius too.
Absolutely.
Because what possessed her to do that?
She says at the beginning of the movie that she was just looking for something to keep herself busy.
Wow.
And along the way, it turns into this masterpiece that is arguably as compelling as the film itself.
I agree. I agree 100%.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought it up.
Yeah.
People, if you haven't seen it, if you're a fan of the film Apocalypse Now, then it's almost sacrilege if you haven't seen Hearts of Darkness.
Yeah, he told me that. I didn't really necessarily buy into it. I finally watched it. I bought it, and oh my gosh, just
This is
unbelievable.
I'm not sure if this is cool. This is kind of stupid. I feel like a steampunk, like a pilot or something.
It was very steampunky to put it up
Right,
there.
right.
Yeah,
I just realized that when I saw
yeah.
that.
Would have been better if they had the leather patches on the side. Yeah, then it would have been super steampunk. Alan would have been very proud of
But
you.
then the hat has to be like taller.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Sam had a super cool hat.
Yeah, I remember. It's very cool.
Yeah, Cat in the Hat, Sam.
Yeah, yeah, I like that stuff.
Stuff.
So if the mechanics were ever going to get back together, what do you see? Because I honestly, just as your friend, as your brother, I gotta say this.
Say it, dude.
I don't want to see part 3.
You don't want me.
I don't want to ever see. I don't want to see you put yourself through that again, because it will assuredly do it, and maybe even on a grander scale. And people, you have to understand that when somebody pours absolutely every fiber of their being into something, it takes its toll. It's gut wrenching. It's real. It's scary. It's frightening, and you don't realize. I think people think making records is just like the cookie cutter way of doing things. Throw a couple of beats together, everybody makes a happy chorus, and oh, let's record it, and that's the done. That's not the way it works. And since bands like the Doors in the '60s, and you know, that might have worked in Elvis's day, where the band was just there, they hit record and said play. Well, yeah, because they didn't have multi-tracking ability yet, and all this other kind of thing.
And
you know,
those dudes were rehearsed, man.
yeah, and they were rehearsed because they were all constantly together. This is from start to finish, conception, idea, map, then making it happen. And making it happen sonically is the challenge. Back then, we needed $500,000, $600,000 consoles by Neve or SSL, and a good room, mics and everything. Now we're fortunate enough to be able to do things with just mic pre's and mics and everything. But I think people are relying on edits and moving as, oh, that kick wasn't perfect, and this snare wasn't perfect, and that hit, I didn't like that hit, let's replace it. That starts taking away from the natural, yeah, exactly. But it starts taking away from the natural sound.
Ask me, I know.
Of the band. And
trust me,
that's
from somebody who spent with digital editing, you know how tedious.
Oh, it is very tedious. Extremely.
I'm blind to this day because of digital editing.
Wow. But I think there's a magic
15,
when you capture something.
15 years, man. I spent 15 years taking what was probably a pretty decent recording, natural recording of all the performances on Legend 3.
Yeah.
I spent 15 years in a type of paralyzed perfectionism OCD spin out.
Well, I think it's important
to all the life out of the music because
you got way too analytical.
I sterilized the music, making it too perfect.
Yeah, too analytical,
too perfect.
So I will say this, and people do need to know this from you, and you don't have to touch too much because I don't really want to go back to talking about Legend right now, but because I'm more excited right now of what you and Jeff are doing. But I gotta, you have to say it, dude. You know, 3.1 and especially 3.2 are not really Legend 3. People gotta know because there are people out there that don't. They really believe that that's it, and it's not.
You know what? And I would like to. I'll give people more credit than that, just because I like to believe that people spend just a second longer to really listen, or maybe pay attention. Look at the artwork. Take a look at the artwork. If you have a copy of it, take a look at the artwork and ask yourself if I had anything to do with that.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to any of the variety of mixes from a variety of engineers. I don't know exactly how it went down, but anybody who has a copy of the infamous Bumblebee Legend 3-2 fiasco, anybody who has that, I'll go ahead and tell you right now, it was a bullshit kind of pussy move by some people that, in my opinion, sunk beneath themselves. I don't believe they're quite the men that they're not the bottom feeders that I'd like to say they were for doing something like that. But you know what? It was a bad move. I forgive them for doing it. but at the same time, it's just one of those things that.
But it wasn't legend.
No, it wasn't. Not even close, people.
Not even close. And people need to know that.
No, it was some demos that they had their hands on, some demos, some old files. They had a bunch of raw, unedited material. Anybody who knows me and anybody's ever worked with me knows that I kind of take a Kubrick way to tracking. I'm a track freak. I love taking multiple takes because I love options, and at least that's the way I recorded the Legend stuff. I'm not doing that these days. I've got kind of a 3-take limit on everything right now because I need to.
Yeah, well, that's excellent, and that's the way to do it.
Yeah, it's a good way to go.
Although you've been making me do more.
Like 3.5, maybe. So just to finish what he's saying, the Bumblebee copy, hold on to it. It'll be a collector's item.
That's it. It is.
It's a campy.
That's what it is.
It's a campy little collector's item, and the most fun that you can have with that thing. Let me just make a recommendation. If you haven't, if there's any part of your being that thinks that it's actually something that anybody in Saber Machine had anything to do with, go to the track Lake of Fire: The Last Judgment, and somewhere during that track, there's a major fuck up on a vocal, and right after the fuck up, anybody who's ever tracked me knows this. I usually do something rather funny after a fuck up, you know? And yeah, I just in the moment, after butchering something, I said something to the effect of. Come on now, yeehaw, giddy up, Satan.
Oh, yeah, giddy up, Satan.
Yeah, it was. And I wasn't even wearing the hat. But you know what? The funny thing is, out of the 80, 90 vocal takes that whatever engineer had the pleasure of sitting down and sifting through those tracks.
That were actually the take.
That were actually takes. There was the real take was in there somewhere.
Right.
If they would have waited and steal it from me later, they could have gotten which take it was, you know? But by the way, people, yes, it's all finished. I'm just not going to release it. It's been finished for 12 years.
Yeah. You know what? And I don't think it needs to be. I think you need to be new.
If it ever gets finished, it'll be re-recorded from scratch.
I want to do it here.
Let's do it.
And get a big Archangel of Darkness choir in here. Much with Southern accents. It's the end of the world.
Southern bells.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
Absolutely.
I think it'd be.
I want to record. I want to get Sam West in that room.
The big live room.
On a big Gretsch kit.
Yeah, our grand room on a big, like 1968 to a 72 Gretsch. Maple and birch. Ooh.
Hey, should I interview you?
Yeah, go ahead. You got a few minutes.
Let's do that.
Everybody knows me. Everybody already hears all my stuff.
Do you want the hat and sunglasses?
No, I'll just be me. Okay. I like the hat, though. I really want a hat like that.
It's a little wet. I'm sweating.
Oh, yeah, you are. You're always sweaty. I know. Okay. I'll wear it.
Thank you. It makes for light easy here. You know what? Let's just go all the way.
I don't know about the glasses. You want to do the glasses?
Yeah,
okay. I don't want to widen them. I got a big head.
No, that's nice, dude. Oh, man. Look at you. Look kind of scary, dude.
I like that. Can I do the interview like that?
Like an old friend. So, Jimmy.
Yes, sir.
So, Jimmy P. Brown.
That's the name they gave me.
Tell me about some of the Manny songs you're working on.
Huh?
Inside joke for Manny. Manny, this guy he's very prolific, Manny. This man is constantly writing. I want you to be assured that he has not forgotten about you. There's not 20 minutes that goes by that you don't make it into a song.
Oh, that's true. You know. That is true.
And just so you know, they're ethnic songs. They're songs that have rhythm and feel, and he's staying true to
raw sensuality.
Yeah, raw sensuality of
beautiful.
Yeah, they're dark.
Very dark. Very, I mean, as dark as they can get.
Right, like eggplant.
Yeah,
dark,
very. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, they're dark.
Yeah, very dark.
But just want to let you know, Manny, that's going on. We're going to start the interview. We're going to get serious now. Okay. So, dude, how the hell did you end up in Alabama?
Oh my God, Alabama.
Seriously.
Well, I was living in Vegas for 10 years, got into the casino industry. Started out as the guy out front. I was lucky enough to get into the casino, which was very typical.
This is the guy right here.
Yeah.
This
So,
is downtown Jimmy Brown.
downtown
No,
Jimmy Brown. I was out front with a microphone
we're gonna do
in
a podcast.
108. Can I take these off?
Yeah, sure.
It's too dark. There we go. Oh, there we go. Right. It's very, very. It's like the Manny songs. They're real dark. So,
So downtown Jimmy Brown. This guy was
Da-
running casinos in Vegas, doing all kinds of stuff.
well, the funny thing is there I started out as standing out in 100-degree weather in the heat with a microphone saying, "Come on in and play the slot tournament here at the Aladdin, brand new Aladdin Casino."
Yeah, but with that
And,
voice.
and they loved it, And I would come in for my breaks because it was so hot outside. I started in May, and that's when it starts to get 100 degrees out there.
of course.
And I would come in for my breaks into the casino to cool off. And I'm watching the promotions department and just a bunch of clowns. And, they just made it look so fun, but it was so unprofessional. And one day I was just sitting there with a scowl on my face, I guess, because, me,
Yeah.
I wear my feelings on my shoulders.
No.
And yeah, exactly. And this lady comes up to me and starts talking to me, and I just started railing on the unprofessionalism and how I would do things and everything. And I said, I am so sorry. I caught myself and I go, I shouldn't be talking to a guest like this. How long are you staying here? And she goes, "Oh, honey, I'm not a guest." She goes, "I'm your boss."
Interesting.
And I
Immediately thought this could go two ways.
well, I looked at her and I go, "Should I be expecting my pink slip?" And she looks at me dead straight and goes, "Maybe," and walked away. Didn't see her for 2 weeks.
Interesting.
So I'm standing outside
She was
doing
testing
the
you. Let's see
thing.
how you react to that.
Yeah.
Sure.
And that was it. And so 2 weeks I get called and I'm like, "Oh, there we go. This is perfect. Last paycheck, blah, 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 blah."
Yeah.
And I was working 2 jobs at the time. I was working full time at the Aladdin Casino, and I was working also tier 2 tech support for Dish Network. So helping people with their remote controls.
Which is
Change the batteries.
It's got to be rewarding work. Too.
So at 5 in the morning till 1 in the afternoon, I'm doing tech support for Dish Network, 1:45 to 9:45 at the casino. Yeah, it was tough. Well, she pulls me into her office and she goes, "So you had some interesting things to say." She goes, "So I'm promoting you to Players Club," and she goes, "You're going to join marketing." And I said, "Okay." She goes, "Do you know anything about marketing?" And I said, "No." She's like, "Well, you're going to learn."
Sort of. Though. You got music marketing back.
Well,
then.
I just,
Yeah, a little
I was still green, and to the whole job thing,
Yeah.
especially casino.
Oh, yeah.
I just wanted my foot in the door.
Well, you've been playing music professionally since you were 16, 17?
15, yeah, 15. So,
yeah, job market at what age were you?
27.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. So I ended up working Players Club, and within 4 months of that, I was promoted to a supervisor, but working for the true part of casino marketing, which is called player development. And I just rose in the ranks, and then I ended up going to another hotel and ended up finishing my time in Vegas working for Caesars Entertainment. Well, my wife worked at the most prestigious hotel in Vegas, the Venetian and the Palazzo. So she's over there, and there was a guy that worked over there. He was an executive director. His name was Brent, and he ended up getting an offer for a vice presidencyship out here in Alabama. We only have 3 casinos in the entire state, and I get a call saying they want to legitimize and make it a real legit casino, because they said it's a little less than that, but once you fly out here, take a look at what's going on. I'm thinking, Alabama. But my brother lived here at that time. Charles, yeah. And, Chaz. I'm sorry, he goes by Chaz now.
Yes.
So I fly out, and dude, they weren't kidding, because we pulled up to the first casino, because there was 2 casinos in the north and 1 in the south. And we pulled up to the 2 casinos, and they are in oversized circus tents. Giant circus tents with air conditioning. And I'm like, these aren't real casinos. What is this? And
buy a riverboat, for God's sake. Right?
Yeah. So they told me their vision. And they said, what would it take for Jimmy Brown to be a part of this? After I met with all the executive staff and everything else. And they slid a number over to me, and I said, "Oh, really? This is a lot more than I'm making it in the Mecca.
Right.
I'm working in the Mecca
Right.
of
I
gambling.
know. So-
Las Vegas, and they're offering more.
Yeah, you know what? That's
That's what brought me out
they
here.
made you an offer you couldn't refuse.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. So I came out here, wreaked havoc for about 4 years, and we had some family tragedies happen with my wife's parents passing away, and then so we moved back to California for a couple years. Unfortunately, I wasn't with 10 years Vegas experience and 4 years experience managing, being a marketing and manager and your executive manager
because of the way the laws work here. And
yeah, exactly. I couldn't get a gig out in Cali, and it was weird. And here I'm a native, so I'm like, okay, whatever. So I went through my savings in those 2 years, and so well, the whole time they'd been offering me positions to come back. So this last one was too good, but it got intercepted by a man named Olaf Lieb, and
brings us here.
yeah, exactly. And he said, I can't pay you what they're going to pay you.
You want to tell the people who Olaf is?
Yeah, well, they know
They
Olaf.
know.
They know Olaf.
You know who Olaf is. I just met Olaf. He's lovely.
But he made me a great offer that would return me to my roots and make me happy, because I'd become a massive, massive alcoholic.
Well,
And
I'm glad you cycled back to that just a bit, because you know what, man, like we've both been on some journeys, man.
oh yeah, yeah.
You know, it's part of I think it's part of everyone's life. Everyone's on a journey, but if you're an artist, your job is to, I suppose, your role is to communicate that journey if you can. I remember reading something when I was younger, and I can't remember the writer who wrote it, but it's something to the effect of an artist's role in this existence is to hold a mirror up.
Mm-hmm.
Not that you have answers, but just hold the mirror up and just ask.
Yeah.
You know, do you feel this way as well?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And in order to do that,
You got to go through some crap, man. There's no question.
it's
Sometimes diving in very depths of hell,
absolutely, man.
head first.
And it's tough to write about when you're going through, but when you do catch a breath, sometimes that perspective gives you just enough to be able to put it down.
I believe it.
And so that journey, I mean, think about like just some of the nutty things that both of our lives have gone through over the last even just 10 years.
Oh yeah, 10 years. Even just think about the last 25, but
Yeah.
even just the last 5 to 10, some
Absolutely.
crazy stuff's gonna happen, or
Absolutely.
happened,
The fact that, we're both coming up on that half-century mark, and, me a little quicker, but we're both coming
Yeah, I'm
up
2
on
years
it.
behind you.
Yeah. We're both coming up on that, and I don't know, man, I'm excited about the fact that there's...
That you don't need Viagra.
Well, that's, that is, that's something to be thankful for. Really. I never thought about like all those little things. You're right. They say count your blessings. I'm going to count that blessing. I was not prepared for that one. Jimmy has a. You can see I don't even react anymore. I take a minute, just kind of reset and work it. It takes years to master this, by the way. Just the not falling on the floor. But no, this man has been on a journey, and what I'm hearing right now, and granted, this is new for me. It's not a production that is being rushed by any means, but because he was working on another, and I'm working on the Bowie stuff right now.
Oh yeah. And then this one's dead in the middle.
Right, and then my daughter just graduated from college, so there's just a lot of personal life stuff going on as well, a lot of travel. And I'll be honest, I'm going to thank him right here on this YouTube thing. No, this man right here, talk about full circle, man. We met before my daughters were born, and we worked together at the beginning of my career. His career was already a little early in, but all these years later, after both of us kind of gone away from music for some time, and now getting back into it, it's really interesting to me in the cosmos how this production, me here working with him, afforded me the opportunity to take a little time off work and come see my daughter graduate from high school or
For
from
college, yeah.
Sorry, high school. I've got like 6 kids
Yeah.
back in Utah that are graduating on Tuesday right now, so my brain's being split right
Yeah.
now. A lot of my students are graduating. The kids I teach hitting. So yeah, we got that going on as well. But yeah, I'm back here. Hell, I'm on the East Coast, man. I'm on the East Coast.
Deep South right now.
The deep South.
Yeah.
That's right. We in the Deep South.
We in the Deep South.
And it's
Sweet low.
just we were talking about that just driving around down here. The history down here. I mean, there's a lot of bad stuff on.
It's rich. It's deep. It's scary.
It is. But man, it's beautiful down here.
It is. It's fun.
Not so good for the beard, man. A little humid. For the
Yeah, it
beard.
frizzes out
Man,
real fast.
The Jew fro.
Yeah, because sometimes when I see you in the Utah videos, it's just flowing. It's
so nice
almost Rebbe like. It's very rabbi, you know. It's just got this where the wind's hitting it. It's just whatever.
Coiffed.
And then here it just gets all kinky and boing. I
I
almost heard the boing.
My daughters call it the Jew fro.
Yeah, definitely. Man, we're gonna wrap this up, but I'm just wanting to say thanks, man, for being part of this and for us starting something again. Something we'd always talked about. It's like you said, the universe just brings things full circle and just.
It does. And I want to say something just to finish up what I was saying.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No. I stumble. How little sleep. Do that again. I've had such little sleep over the last few days, so I wander. But you know what? What I'm hearing was talking about the emotional arc that you go through as an artist. What I'm hearing in the music, which is still new to me right now.
The Eraserhead.
But it's good that it's new to me because it's new to me. It's fresh. There's no preconceived notions of what something should be. I'm hearing it very, almost with virgin ears. I heard the music, but a lot of the vocal melodies are brand new. The lyrics are brand new. This is a project. Jimmy came right out of a big Deliverance project, just jumped into this. So, yeah, he's kind of writing on the spot right now. But these songs, what I'm hearing, especially in the lyrics and the execution of the way you're performing the vocals, we're capturing some.
There's moments, man.
It's precision. It's all the things you expect from a Jimmy Brown vocal. I mean, it's precise. It's got great feel and rhythm, and that's the thing Jimmy and I talked a lot about last couple of days. Is for white guys, how important it is that you're in the pocket, really in the pocket as a singer, and drummers really appreciate it. Trust me.
Yeah.
But this man's just in the pocket and he's singing from his fucking soul right now, and it's good stuff, people. There's some good stuff coming.
I can't wait till you guys hear it. Yeah, I think you guys are just going to be pretty floored, especially to hear Knox, Manny,
Dude,
me.
the rhythm section on this thing is
Oh, it's sick. Yeah, it's sick. We're excited. Well, we're going to wrap up. We do want to thank some people. Not as a true endorsement, but just we want to thank Three Frogs and, of course, Olaf Lieb. Oh, you blew it out.
I'm working my way to you.
Oh.
That'll be the last one. Premature, man.
Yeah. So, thank Olaf Lieb, obviously, for affording us this time here and forging new relations. Watch out for the wax. Now you just got it on my pants.
Me too.
Yeah. So, and now my hands.
My thumb. It's turning into a party now, guys.
Yeah, a little bit.
We got hot wax going.
And it's all stuck too. Well, that'll be the last one. Okay. So, and then we want to thank our fans. I always like to call our fans our friends. So, thank our fans worldwide. In Europe, here in the States, South America, Central America. It's always good, and of course Mexico, Latin America, Canada. I love Canada.
I got some fans in Hungary and Romania.
Well, I said Europe.
Yeah,
It's all part of it.
Israel, Egypt. There's people.
I've never been written by. Well, no, that's true. We do have some South African fans.
Yeah.
No, it's just, to me, it's great. Wow, look at that.
I got a shit ton of wax on my pants.
Yeah, there's.
Oh, sorry,
there's a lot.
I just flipped off your audience.
Yeah, lots of wax.
Sorry, folks, didn't mean that.
And those that have been very, very supportive for making the Eraserhead record happen. Of course, my wife Helen, who's just
Love it.
the
Yes.
backbone of my life.
Just-
You know, just the breath I breathe. You know.
She's awesome.
Yeah. In fact, Eric and Helen have just been catching up too, and it's been awesome.
It's
you know?
awesome when you know somebody for close to 30 years. And
Yeah.
You don't see him for 10 years, and you just pick up right where you leave off.
It is. It's
It's,
awesome. And we got to thank Kevin Platt because, you know, Kevin Platt was a big bringer of all the Mac world into my life. And it's going to have to bring you into the Mac world. And Rick Mester, who is not only a humongous Deliverance Jimmy Brown fan, but Savior Machine fan as well. Huge fan of you. We've been sending him some nice little video messages here and there.
What's up, Rick?
Anybody else that you'd like to thank for just being a part of you and making you feel nice, warm, and fuzzy? And
Yeah, I feel warm and fuzzy a lot lately. So,
Ashley, I mean, you know, just...
how about I would like to thank, first of all, I'd like to thank you and your family.
Oh,
And I'd like to thank Olaf. Olaf is
you're welcome.
Olaf is
Just provide me a cupcake.
so again the German connection. Olaf is a German
Yeah, it's from Hessen, from Ruschersheim
living here
in Alabama.
right.
There.
So imagine a German Alabama accent. It's
It's a little odd.
it is.
Yeah.
Jimmy does a good one though. Like when you go up into this up in there, or when you do the higher part of your voice. Remember you did the yes.
When I do, I
Up
mean,
there.
yeah.
That's perfect. So I think we should say goodbye like that. I am gonna say thank you to a couple other folks. So
Please,
I would like to thank
your two new friends you introduced me to.
yes, thank you. I'd like to thank Will and Larry for coming down. Had a nice time with you guys. Look forward to more next time. I'd like to thank my family for a lovely time in Charleston, and Kaji and Kira. And yeah, that's about it. I'd like to thank my little family back in Utah
Oh yeah,
for holding down the fort where I'm gone. Love everybody.
and of course Joe.
And Joe. That's right.
Always thank Joe.
That's right. And today we will introduce you to the at least the early stages of what may become the preface of the doctrine
Of Joe. Yeah,
Later.
you'll understand.
It all makes sense. Sometimes.
Oh, and now there are some surprise nuggets coming up, right, for the Bowie project, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So,
Real quick, just
yeah, Jeff and I
Yeah.
we're recording time this weekend.
yeah.
I'm flying home Sunday, and Jeff and I are recording time Sunday. He's got the music ready. I need to come in and not screw up the vocals, and then he'll mix it, and then you and I will be back working more on this here pretty soon.
Mhm,
Whether it be in
mhm.
Cali or here, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And then what we'll start next is Rock and Roll With Me will be the next track, and we got a couple of special guests on that one.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask.
Yeah,
Yeah, who did you not want to divulge?
Yeah, I can do that now. Mr. Alan Aguirre, a.k.a. formerly Rommel Dumpkus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
also
exciting.
fellow Bowieite. He and I will be kind of sharing some of the production duties on that. And yeah, Rock and Roll With Me is going to be a good track. Then Fame is next, and that's with Devin Graves
That's awesome.
overseas. I'm going over to Germany on July 3rd. I'll be in the fatherland.
To Fatherland.
I'll be there until the 23rd, about 20 days. And so 3 weeks in Germany. And if you're somebody that, I'll just say this now, if you're somebody that's connected to Savior Machine in the business world, in that part of Germany between Frankfurt and Munich, expect a visit.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, Mundo.
Because Eric Clayton's coming to town and I got business, folks.
Be a good thing.
Yep.
Be a real good thing.
A lot of unresolved things that need to be.
I want to set up a crowdfunder to buy Eric Clayton some sneakers. So, I mean, he needs a sneaker collection. I mean, just one for every. I've never. I mean, all these years I've known him, he's always wearing boots. He doesn't just wear Vans or Chucks or
I don't know tennies.
Nikes. I mean, so I think we need to do a crowdfunder just to buy you a pair of sneakers for once for each week. So 52 pairs.
Okay.
Real nice.
Do you think?
No, they're not going to look like boots.
I mean, could they make?
They got to look
sneakers
like sneaks.
Really? Black?
Yeah, we'll stick with black. All different types of Vans. You need some cool shoes.
You know, it's funny. You guys know, well, some of you know, I coach kids. I'm a hitting instructor. I teach in boots as well. It's true.
It's so funny. I love it. Thank you so much for being a part of this. And all right. And thank you guys, YouTubers. No, an end to it all. So all of our YouTubers, Facebookers, onlookers, Eric Clayton, Jimmy P. Brown II, signing off from the lovely Three Frogs studio that we just reeked up of smoke from candles, though. It's different. Olaf gets mad if I smoke in here. So. But he can vape. Peace.